A picture could speak 1,000 words, but the picture snapped by our guest today has the potential to convey emotions beyond the scope of words. Even as a writer, I couldn't string together a sentence to describe the portraits that he takes. All I can say is that it tickles my wanderlust and makes me want to take a flight to Paris to experience it the way he does. We speak today to Instagram's favorite Parisian photographer, VuTheara Kham, in his first ever English interview. It's such an honor to have you here on the show with us today.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is VuTheara Kham. I'm 39 years old. I live in Paris. My parents are Cambodian. They arrived in France in 1981 and I born in 1982, Friday, 13 August. Yes, it's a lucky day, but I have a good start. Always follow me, but I'm photographer since 2015, and when I arrived in Paris in 2007, I have a job. I study web design, and I worked like web designer, user experience designer for different startups in Paris. And one day I set up an application in 2011, on January 2011. And at the same time, I have a full-time job like web designer, and I set up an Instagram application. And I never take a photo. I never have a camera, a professional camera. And I set up this application random, like by accident, and I never take a pictures, and I take pictures every day. Take pictures of Paris, of my daily routine. Yeah, take pictures of people, take pictures of like a tourist. And for me to discover Paris, it's like a movies. I have always in my head movies of Paris with the lovers, with the old people, with the dress, with the fashion, and for me it's like a poetry. It's like a movies, and I take pictures. I don't know why, but I want to show my vision of Paris, like timeless, like poetry, like with the lovers, with the people, and I don't want to show the monument on the first round, like Eiffel Towers, Louvre Pyramid, and always when I take pictures, it's always in the background, and I just want to focus on the people, because for me, people represent Paris, and Paris is a cosmopolitan city, like Muslim, like Chinese, like yes, it's different, and for me, that's why I want to show. But now I'm a full-time photographer since 2015, and I work for different agencies with like institutions for the Paris Tourist Office, for example, for the Opera of Paris, or for different brands. I have a chance because I never knock of the doors of the clients, and always people contact me, and for me, I'm very shiny. I don't like to talk about my work, and I prefer to be discreet on the social network. I never show my face, and I prefer people follow me for my photograph and not for my face, like a lifestyle photograph, lifestyle on Instagram influencer. And for me, I want to show my art, my photograph, and I want to focus on the physical, and I prefer to show my pictures on the gallery or on the magazine, and for me it's very important of my pictures. It's during several years on the decades, but yeah, and I never. For me, I'm photographer, and I always professional photographer. For me, I prefer to be a photographer, and I don't like to say I'm influencer, because I'm not. I'm influenced because when I take a picture of Paris, sometimes people want to take the same picture, but for me, I prefer to focus on street photography and to show the people, and because on street photography, it's instantaneous and it's very impossible to reproduce my pictures because it's it's not so long.
It's not planned. No. The photos are never, right?
Yes. And I live in Paris. I like Paris, but I had the chance to travel in different countries, and before I never traveled. For me, it's so expensive. Because my parents work in the restaurants, in the Asian restaurants, in Cambodian restaurants in Normandy, and when I was 13 years old, I worked in the kitchen of my restaurant with my three brothers, and my parents always teach me the values of the works, the values of the money, and I always work on my childhood with my three brothers, and that's why I think it's very important the family, and I always connect with my family in Normandy with my parents, and it's very important for me to go back in Cambodia to connect with my roots. And
Okay. So which was your first big client, and how did they find you and your work?
Yes, I remember my first client is the Paris Tourism Office in 2014. And they write me, they contact me, and they propose me. They want to work with me, and they propose me to take a pictures for the covers of the Paris guide in Paris. For example, there are a Paris corporate, fashion, the Paris market, the shopping, and they want I take the covers.
Wow.
And to propose, and it's 1 million exemplar because it's a Paris guide in different language, and it's an honor for me, and I remember I have just my smartphone, and I buy a camera DSLR. It's a Canon 5D Mark III, and it's my first camera, and I take a lot of pictures and a lot of mistakes, because for me, when I take a pictures with my smartphone, you take just one button, but for me it's very important to focus on the composition, because when you take a picture with your smartphone, you have no zoom, you have no bokeh, you just take with your head, and the composition for me is very, very important, because you can have the best camera, the Hasselblad, the Leica, but you can take a bad pictures, and you can have a smartphone and take a good picture. And for me, it's a challenge. It's always a challenge on my life, and to take a picture with my smartphone or different camera. For me, the same. If you have a sensibility in your head, in your heart, you can take a good pictures.
So how do you think a person who has photography as a hobby can start doing it full time as work? How can they make money out of it? Do you have any advice?
I think it's very important in different art. For example, the photography. When I start photography, I just start to take a pictures because it's my hobby. And for me, I never want to be popular. Celebrities, and when you start a different I don't know, sports or photography or different things, if you think you want to start just to be celebrity, to be famous, to win the money, it's never work, because it's very important. It's the passion and the curiosity. And when I start photography, I like to be on exhibition in Paris. I have the chance to live in Paris, and it's the capital of the culture. We have a different museum, like the Louvre Museum with the Orsay, and it's a museum of city of Paris. And for me, it's very important to be curious. I go to the museum to visit the photography exhibition for the different photographer, and I buy a lot of books, and I'm watching a lot of documentary of photography, and by natural, because when I start different things, I like to be 200% on these things, and when I start photography, I like to document, to be curious, to watch. And I remember when I work in Paris, I see the postcard of Robert Doisneau, of Henri Cartier-Bresson, the famous photographer in the world, and I like, and because for me, I don't know, but when I see the pictures of the lovers, of the children in the different garden in Paris, or for me, I understand why they take the pictures, and there are different story in the pictures, and I'm very sensible, and for me, I like to be curious, and I think it's very important when you start different things to be curious. And if you want, and when I start photography, I'm very curious, and it's just always the hobbies. And after 3 years, yes, Instagram put me on the user suggested list. I don't have a contact with Instagram, but people, different country follow me. The star, the celebrity, the musician in different group, and I don't know why, but he say, I like your picture because I don't know why, but there are a poetry, you show another vision of Paris. You don't show the postcard, you show the real Paris, the poetry, the soul of Paris. Yes, did you say?
That actually gets me to the question. So you have 2 books, right? Point of Youth and Soul of Paris, published works. I would like to know more about them, and if we can expect more books. I think Soul of Paris is such a perfect name, first of all.
I don't know, and the Point of Youth is a game name with my name, like VuTheara. It's a nickname, Point of Youth. Yes, and the first book I published in 2013. It's a book always iPhone only. I think it contains 300 or 200 pictures only iPhone, and it's like my newspapers daily. I don't know. Journal intime in French, but it's like my first step when I arrive in Paris. I have the eyes of like a tourist, and now my eyes after 10 years, yes, I evolved, and my camera evolved, and the technology, I think I'm very happy now to after Instagram 2010, 2011, now 2012, 2022, and when I look at my pictures on my hard disk, my archive, I say, wow, I have innocent eyes when I start, but my eyes it's always the same. But now I'm 39 years old, and
you can see that change in your photos from before to now, is it? You've grown.
Yes, I remember my first pictures is always Eiffel Tower spot around Trocadero, and now I don't like to go to Trocadero to take a picture, because for me it's so cliche, it's so postcard, and all the people take the Eiffel Tower because they hope to have a like in Instagram, because it's Instagrammable spot. But for me, I prefer now to take a picture of the people on my neighborhood, or when I arrived in Paris in 2007, 2010. Yes, I'm a tourist, and now I'm a Parisian. I'm a Parisian. I'm a Normand, and I'm Cambodian. Yeah, because my blood is 100% Cambodian. My parents born in Cambodia. Yeah.
All right. So can you tell me a little bit about the gear that you use now? You started off with an iPhone 2015. You got your first camera. So can you tell me about the gear that you're using in 2022? What all do you carry?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. My first camera in 2010 is iPhone 4, and after iPhone 4 is iPhone 4S, iPhone 5S, and I buy a Canon 550D. And when I had my first mission for the Paris Tourist Office, I buy a Canon 5D Mark III, and I take a lot of pictures, and one day I received an email about Sony, because Sony invites me for the 70th anniversary of the brand Sony in Japan, and I went in Japan for the anniversary for Sony, and when I go back to Paris, Sony proposed me to be ambassador for the brand. 2015, but my contract is finished last year, and now I'm not ambassador for Sony, but I was ambassador during 5 or 6 years, and I think the last camera I bought is in 2013 with the Canon 5D Mark III, and my last phone I buy is my iPhone 4 for 100 euro. I remember by my friend, and now I collect the smartphone because always the brand I test the smartphone. I work for Huawei, I work for Samsung, I work for iPhone, OnePlus, but I like to test the camera, and for me, I said before, the camera it's just a gear, but the most important is your eyes and the sensibility, the composition. But if you have the same eyes, you can take a good picture with a different camera. But and the last year I buy my last camera is the Leica M9, with a telemetric. It's the old camera, but it's not electronics. You move the lens, but sometimes I want to discover another face of the photography, because now you have all the camera, they have the collimator. You just push the button, and all the picture is very clear, beautiful with a different mode, and I like the challenge, and I like to do the mistakes, because when you do the mistakes you learn, and I want to discover another approach of photography, and with the Leica M9, is the telemetric, and it's just manual, but I have a lot of camera, and all the Sony Alpha 7R4, so Alpha 7 III, Alpha 7R2. I have a lot of camera, but it's very difficult when I go out to Paris to choose what camera. But I always use the same lens. It's the 55mm optical fix. I don't have zoom, and I prefer to move around my subject when I take a picture, because for me, when you have a smartphone, when I started photography with my smartphone, you have no zoom. And I like to move around my subject, and to have a different angle. And I'm a stalker. I like to follow the guys when I target people, a hat man, I don't know, the girls, or I can to follow these guys doing certain and take a picture behind the guys, different angle. And
so since you do a lot of street photography, you're photographing a lot of strangers, people you don't know. So do you feel anytime any resistance from them, like people who don't like being photographed? I had a chance
I had a chance because people never repair me, never distinct me. I'm always to be discreet, always on the shadow, always calm, and me, I'm very shiny. I don't like to talk with people. I don't like the fool. I don't like the people. I prefer to be alone always, and for me, it's like an exercise of my personalities. And when I follow the people, I like to wait the good background to match, for example, the colors, the font, the typography, the light, I like to wait the good moment when the background and the foreground match. It's for me, when I go back at home, I'm very happy.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. So how long does the post-processing process take you? Like after you take the picture, you reach home, and then the editing process, how long does that take you on average?
It's a good question. My workflow, when I take a pictures, sometimes my camera is connected Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and I can't to transfer my photo on my smartphone. Just the preview. But I prefer to editing my pictures on my computer. Yeah, because I have a good computer and a MacBook Pro, and it's very and the screen is taller, is bigger to smartphone, and I prefer to have a time to editing my pictures, to listen to music. I like music. When I arrived in Paris in 2008, I think I was in the 50 concert in Paris on 1 year.
Oh wow!
Concert. Yes,
that's
one concert per week. Yeah, one concert per week. And when I was child, I like to listen music. Like photography, it's a passion, it's curiosity, and I listen a lot of music, of electronic, pop, rock, and now when I editing the pictures, I listen to classical music. Yeah, I discover the classical music since 2 years now, and when there are COVID-19 with a lockdown, I buy my first instrument music, the piano music, and now I'm playing every day 2 or 3 hours per day. Yeah. And during the lockdown, I playing more 4 hours per day alone on my apartment. And and for the question, I edit my pictures on my computer, and I think 5 minutes to edit my picture, because I have always on my head the result. I prefer to don't put a different layer of my pictures, and I want the pictures is always natural. I don't like when the effect is so HDR, so saturated, the colors is so fake, and I prefer to stay natural. And for me, it's like people or woman. I prefer woman, natural woman, or woman with makeup. I don't know, but to be natural for me is the best. And for the picture is the same. I prefer to the picture is stay natural. Just a little bit adjust luminosity, contrast, white balance, more clarity, but with the colors, stay natural.
That's nice. So I'm guessing now you have 1.1 million subscribers on Instagram, like followers on Instagram. So that's a very big number. Do you sometimes feel like it's too much pressure? You always have to put out a good picture. You can't put like a mediocre picture. It has to be the best that you put up. Do you feel that pressure?
The pressure, for me, I don't have a pressure. And when I reach the million followers on Instagram, it's 2015. I reached the 1 million followers, and I have a lot of articles for the different newspaper, magazines say, wow, VuTheara reached 1 million followers, the first anonymous guys to reach 1 million followers, because in Instagram you have a footballer, a celebrity, a lifestyle, people or TV show reach 1 million followers. But for me, I'm just a normal person to arrive in Paris in 2007. My parents is Cambodian. They move after the wars with the Khmer Rouge, and yeah, they are a storytelling of my life, and for me, my successful is my work, because I store in Paris on different seasons, sunny weather, or snowy weather, or rainy weather. I always take a picture because I like taking pictures. I want to show I like taking pictures. I don't know why, because for me, I'm feeling good, and to have 1 million followers or to have 10,000 followers, or it's not important. It's just a number. But yes, it's important for the agency, for the brands, for the esthetician, because it's a trust. You say, wow, he have 1 million followers, but when he go on my gallery, he see my pictures, say, oh wow, it's a real photographer. It's not a influencer. It's a normal guys, and he have 1 million followers. He have a good eyes. He have a good skill. It's a normal person. He like arts. He's open of photography, because I take a portrait photography, I take a sport photography, I take people, I take urban, and for me photography is very large. You can't to specify on portrait photography, black and white photography, wedding photography, kitchen photography, and for me photography is open for everybody. Yeah, for everybody. And if you can take good pictures of people, of everything, you can take everything. You can take everything, and for me, 1 million followers is not very important. I prefer people contact me for my skills, for my eyes, for my point of view, and not for because you have 1 million followers and they're waiting. I take pictures to post on Instagram, to put the hashtag, and to put the code, to put the percentage with code by VuTheara. I never accept, because I never want to be product people. Yeah, I'm not a sandwich man with the code promo. I always to be VuTheara Kham since 10 years. I always to be, and I think that's why the people follow me, because I'm not a big head. I 1 million followers. I don't care about. For me, yes, it's very important for the brand, but yeah. And I remember there are 2 years I have 1 million too, and now my followers is
1.1
degree, but I don't care, and I prefer to show my pictures, and the likes now is not important, and the algorithm of Instagram change every day, and you can fight of the algorithm always presents, and yeah, I prefer people follow me for my works and not for because I have just 1 million followers. Yeah, that's the pressure. The pressure for me, I like the pressure, but it's not important.
I think that's the story of every Asian kid, having pressure from their parents.
Yeah. And last weekend I go back to visit my family, and it's very important, my family, and for me, when I see my parents work again in the restaurants, and yeah, it's very powerful for me. Yeah, and I'm very proud of my parents. It's very successful story. After the wars in Cambodia, they arrived in France just with francs, €1, just to call on the cellular phone. And the association bring my parents in Normandy, and they open a restaurant since 25 years now, and the restaurant is very successful, and for me it's a example for me, and I'm very proud, and now my parents are very proud, but they never say congratulations my sons, because it's taboo. It's not the same culture, the Cambodian, and but they are very proud, but they never say I love congratulations my sons, but I feel the song.
That's so nice. That's so beautiful. I mean, you've gone through so much. Your family has gone through so much, and I'm so happy with you and your success right now.
Thank you so much.
So, all these different styles of photography that you do, I mean, you do a lot. I would guess that street photography and landscape are your favorite, but what according to you is your favorite type of photography?
Wow, I think my favorite photography is it's a street photography, the urban, the Parisian. Yeah, I like to take a picture with a reflection of the glass. I don't know why, because for me the glass is like a wall, and you can see a different layer, the face of the people, and I like to take a picture of the people behind the brasserie, behind the cafe in Paris. And I don't know why, because for me, my favorite photographer, one of my favorite photographers, is called Saul Leiter. He's an American photographer, and he's a photographer. Before to be photographer, he's an artist, he's a painter. And a lot of photography of Saul Leiter, it's like a painting, and he play with a reflection, with a layer, and that's why I take a lot of pictures of the cafe, of the brasserie, with the people behind, with the hat man, and I like when my pictures, it's a timeless. People don't say, "Wow, it's 2022," but it looks like 1940. Yeah, 1940, and for me, it's I like when the people are surprised of my pictures, and because. When you surprise the people, I think you win. You win a point. And I like when my pictures looks like a painting. And it's my challenge. And my favorite style of photography is it's a street photography, because you can reproduce the pictures, and it's like an instant. It's like eyes to eyes contact with your subject and me, and when I take this kind of pictures, it's like the planet align, and all it's perfect, and the light, and I don't know why. For me, it's like a movie. It's like I'm an actor and just a témoin. I don't know in English, but
puppet. That. Okay.
Yes. It's I don't know what, but it's for me. It's like a documentary. It's like a documentary, and it's very important to show this moment. But it's a normal moment, but it's extraordinary. It's a beautiful moment for me, and I like to show the normal moment and to transform this moment of this beautiful.
Do you think you will ever get into teaching or creating a community of photography classes that people can look forward to? Do you think you'll be teaching this skill to other people?
People when I start photography, I remember in 2011 with Instagram, people take the same pictures of me. He do on the same spot, on the same framing, the same composition, and but he tagged me and he say, "Wow, thank you, inspired by VuTheara." And I do a workshop in Paris, 4 or 5 workshops with group, 10 people to show and to learn their eyes. I don't. Yes, I prefer. Yeah, I prefer to talk about. Exactly. Yeah, I prefer to talk about photography and not to talk about camera, because for me, shutter speed, aperture, camera, for me it's so geek. I'm not technical. I'm not a specific camera. For me, I prefer to talk about photography, and people learn to watch, looking around on the street, and to work the eyes. What is beautiful? Why I take this kind of pictures? What I want to show? What I want to mean and to tell a story. It's very important to tell a storytelling on your photography, and you can take a picture of the front of Eiffel Tower, but it's not tell a story. It's boring, and for me, I like the people is a challenge. And when I teach photography with the people, I prefer work a lot with these people during 3 hours, and after 3 hours they show me 3 pictures, because I give an exercise, take a portrait, take a urban scene, take stolen pictures, and when after 3 hours people show me their pictures, and I give my feedbacks. And I say, yeah, why do you take this kind of pictures? What do you want to show? And people understand my vision, and I like, but I'm not very pedagogue. I'm not in my soul a teacher, because I say I'm very shiny, but I prefer to tell a story with my pictures, and to speak with my pictures. But people understand, and I recommend always the books, my inspiration, the movies, the documentary. I prefer to recommend.
What, according to you, is the future of photography? What can we expect probably 10 years down the line?
The future of photography? It's a good question, because now, since few months, people are very active on the Twitter with NFT. NFT. Do you listen NFT photography? And for me, I'm not NFT photography, because for me, photography, it's an art, and for me, photography is you touch, you print, you see the pictures, and photography for me, it's important to go to the exhibition, to print your pictures, to signing, to edit limited pictures, and it's a community, and for me, I don't know, I don't understand what NFT represents. For me, it's just a speculative bourse, and it's just a files, a link, your URL files, and you buy just the files numeric, and for me, it's not an art, and I don't want to follow this movement of NFT, and I'm not critic. I'm people. If you want to sell the picture on NFT, it's okay, but for me, it's not my future. I prefer to focus to organize exhibition, print my pictures, sing on my gallery, or travel, and connecting with people about my passion of photography, and it's very important. And of the future of my photography, I hope one day to open my physical gallery in Paris, because I have a gallery online, or I sell pictures on my website, but people say, "Wow!" I think VuTheara, you can to sell your picture of the tourists in Montmartre or Le Marais. Your pictures is so unique. It's so singular, and yeah. But when I to be riches, or if I have a association, a partner to
do that. That's
do
so
that.
nice.
Yeah. But now I prefer to create pictures, take everyday pictures of my vision of Paris and share on social network. And now I work for the Paris Tourism Office again to show the beauty of the different districts in Paris, and I work for the smartphone for Huawei. I have an exhibition in at WeWork. It's a co-working space.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a different things, and I miss to travel. Yeah, before the COVID, I traveled a lot, and I never go to the India, and one day I hope to go to India, and I travel in different countries in Asia, in Cambodia, in Vietnam, in Russia, in China, in Japan, in Peru, in Mongolia, and for me, I always in my head to be in India, because for me I think it's a good playground for street photography. The face of the people and the colors of the yeah, it's amazing.
You should definitely visit. I'm sure you love India. It's a very nice place. Like you said, the people, it's a beautiful place to photograph.
Yeah. Namaste.
So I'm
Yes.
just asking a few questions now. These are rapid fire questions. So I'll just give you two options. You have to select one.
Yeah.
Can you do that? Yeah. Would you choose a wide angle or a macro lens?
I prefer focal fix. Sorry, not wide angle and not macro lens.
Okay.
I just use a focal fix, just 50 millimeter or 35 millimeter.
Paris or Cambodia?
Paris.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Paris. Yeah, because I think it's thanks to Paris I be the man I am now. Yeah, and I think without Paris I never been in Cambodia. Yeah, and I think Paris, yes, is the first step of my story. Yeah.
So nice. So poor lighting or unsteady camera?
Bad light for me, it's okay. Bad light because I like the challenge, and I think you can find always the good light with the bad light. Yeah, bad light. Well, yeah.
A natural light or artificial light?
The second, yeah, I think, yeah.
Second. Okay, a candid photograph or a planned photograph? Candid,
candid, candid photograph. Yes, sorry, candid photograph. Candid photograph. Yes, an instant because it's a random shot. Yeah.
Okay. Photographing rain or clouds?
Photography rain. I like to drop rain. I like umbrella, and when on my childhood I growing in Cherbourg, and Cherbourg is the symbol of umbrella with the movies. And that's why I like to shoot the umbrella in Paris, and for me it's so romantic. The rainy day in Paris. Yeah.
Okay. If you had to choose between never taking a picture again or never living in Paris again, which one would you choose?
No, Paris. I think it's important for me, Paris, and
not take a picture again.
On the first, I never take pictures. I'm not photographer, and on the second option, I never live in Paris.
Since you like things so much, which one are you okay with leaving? You're passionate about Paris.
I think the first one, well, because on the first one, I can live in Paris. And well, I think the first one because I think Paris, yes, is on my heart now, and this is very important.
Okay. Tough question. Okay, Polaroid camera or the canister film camera? Which one would you choose? Have you worked with a Polaroid camera?
I always I already use the Polaroid camera, and I think yes I choose the Polaroid the Polaroid camera because it's an instant and the surprise and the focal fix I like the vintage camera.
Okay, fine. And about food, Cambodian food or Parisian food?
Wow,
French
Cambodian food, of course. And in Paris, I always eat Cambodian food.
Good. No, because French has a reputation of being like so world famous. So I would think that there would be a confusion, but you like Cambodian food more.
Cambodian food I like because I like spicy food, and I love very, very spicy and the French food. Onion soup or snails.
Escargot.
Escargot. No, it's okay, but I prefer
Cambodian food.
Cambodian food because my parents, when I was child, and they have a restaurant, and every day we eat Cambodian food. Asian food. Yeah.
Okay, so I have one last question and request for you. Can you take a picture of me right now?
Perfect.
Perfect.
For you. Yes.
Looking forward to it. Wow, very nice. I loved it. It was so nice listening to your story. You know, your passion for photography. I think that's the main thing.
Well, thank you so much.